Hi, everyone. This is Rio Kira again. So I'm here to give you a little bit of a background about where I'm from, how I got started on Amazon, my story, how I got to United States, and everything about me. Stay tuned. All right. So I started my childhood in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. And I was born as the middle child in a middle class family. I was the second daughter, but the third child. I have one brother and three sisters. So we grew up in a pretty comfortable home. My dad was a publisher, a journalist, a broadcaster. He was in the media. And my mom was, assisting him with his side business, but mostly a stay-at-home mom. During my primary school, which is elementary school here in the United States, it was pretty good. There are no major occurrences. During my secondary school, which is high school, also nothing really major. So until I got to my second year of college. So let me give you a little bit of backstory before I get there. So as a middle child, I felt I had to achieve a little bit more than others because I wasn't the first. Neither was I the last. I wasn't the first daughter. I was just somewhere just floating in the middle. So I had to prove myself multiple times even to be noticed, right? Not like I had any issues growing up or anything, but I always had that feel that I had to do a little bit more just to be seen. So like I mentioned, my dad was a publisher. He wrote books. He was in media. So I got that natural flair from him. And then I wrote because I used to watch him growing up, writing books and always publishing in the news and publishing newspapers and all that. So at the age of 8, I wrote my very first story. I called my very first book. I wrote a story about maybe fairies in a forest or something, little kid's imagination. So I wrote that and I showed it to my dad and it was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. This is of course he had some edits. He helped me to edit some words in it and made it look, of course, grammatically correct. And then he got it published in the newspaper. And because he is a publisher, of course, he had his ways of getting it there. So he got it published in the newspaper and it ran for a couple weeks on the newspaper, not like a major newspaper then. I think it was the Guardian or the Punch or something, a major one, right? So he got it published there and I was getting a paycheck. So that's the first paycheck I ever got when I was 8 years old. I was getting paid every month and I think I have a little cut of it in Nigeria somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I was so proud of myself. My dad was so proud. He made it such a huge deal. When his friends come over, it's like, oh, my she's a writer at 8, So that got me pretty stoked. I'm like, if I could write at 8, what can I do? I can be president, I could be whatever. So that fueled me to believe that I could do whatever I wanted. He had so much belief in me. He, encouraged me. So I had that book and of course I felt great. So after secondary school, which is high school over here, I went to college pretty early. I went to college at 17. And then the worst thing that could ever happen happened to me when my dad died. I was 19, second year of college, and I thought that was it. I didn't see myself coming out of that, to be honest, even until now. It's a kind of teary, and it's like, I don't know, many, many years after. I still feel like, how did I even make it here without him? Because it was like literally my best friend. I was literally 24/7, always with him. So it was like, how do I recover from that? But I did. All right. So I started working at that company that I said made customized gifts. So I was a 19-year-old with my first job selling customized gifts. Companies will order from my company and then we provide them, we customize them and, supply them. So as I was going through that, I'm like, this is pretty easy. I think I could do this also. I could do this by myself. So what I did was that I started getting little contracts on the side in order to make my own products. So I registered my company, my very first company. I was at 19 and I was getting orders, of course, not from the same companies, of course, but from, friends, family, and someone's doing a wedding. I'm like, yeah, I learned this at my job. I can do it. So I customized fans, hand fans, little gifts for weddings, like souvenirs and all that. So I did that. So I followed the process my company did. I went to buy stuff from the bigger markets for cheap, put brand names on it or the name of the couple, wherever ordered it, package it, and then go deliver. So I started, so that was like a little mini Amazon. I'm not sure if Amazon was even around then, but It was my own little Amazon, and I learned how to purchase, talk to suppliers. That's pretty much what Amazon is. And I started doing that like super early. So I loved doing that. And then at a point, I had to go back to college. And then I met my amazing husband a couple years after. We got married, we had 2 kids, and life was great. My interest in business was still there. I'm like, okay, I know I can do this. I know how to buy stuff for cheaper, make it my own, stuff for a profit, and make money. So when I got married, I was stay at home for mom for a while. My husband was, he is phenomenal. We're still married going on 20 years now. And then a few years after we had, actually like 11 months after we had our second child, my husband won the Visa lottery, and now life changed. So for those that don't know what the Visa lottery is, so what that is like you play it like literally the lottery, and then if you win, you get a green card. So my husband won the green card, and then we all came to United States. My husband and I and 2 little kids. My first was 3 years old, and my second was 11 months. We sold everything, came to United States with like maybe 4 bags and a dream, an American dream. And then before we got here, I was working as a human resource manager there in Lagos. I was still pretty young, at least in my early 20s. And I was head of a department that managed like maybe 20 plus staff. So when I got to United States, my first thing was like, okay, let me find a job in human resources as well. I looked for a job for months. We moved to Texas, straight from Nigeria. Everyone was asking if I was bilingual, if I spoke Spanish. I'm like, I don't speak any Nigerian language apart from English. How am I supposed to learn Spanish? I'm just not, I don't have a language brain. I tell people that all the time. I cannot process language. So the only language I speak is English, and there is no way. And I told them like, there's just no way. I could try, but I might be trying for 10 years. So that never happened. Because I was getting frustrated, I couldn't get a job in human resources that I loved or anything else. I heard from a Nigerian community that, okay, come to the United States, be a nurse. I fought it. I fought it so hard because I didn't want to be a nurse. I knew from time like that is just not me. That is not the person that I see myself, or that's not what I see myself doing. It doesn't match my personality. I didn't want to be a nurse. I fought and fought and fought it. And because I couldn't get a job, and my husband was doing everything, he's phenomenal. He paid all the bills and everything. I'm like, I need to do something. I can just sit and just cross my arms because I'm trying to find a job in human resources. So reluctantly, very reluctantly, I went to nursing school. So I did my classes, my prerequisites. I got into nursing school. I graduated top of my class because, like I said, anytime I go into anything, I pulled my whole everything into it. So I graduated top of my class, and then I started working as an ICU nurse. But right from the start, I knew this is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to help my husband. I wanted to be like, contribute to the household, because back in Nigeria, a lot of women do not have to work but over here is totally different. So I'm like, okay, I need to do something. So I started working, and I felt so much dissatisfaction. It was insane. Nursing is a very noble career. I give top ups to nurses. Nurses is a very hard job, and it's very noble, and I respect them a lot, but it was just not for me. I was not supposed to be a nurse. I wasn't, So every time I went to work, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. That's like for my first year. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And some friends were like, okay, why don't you try to get a master's in nursing, or try to become an MP, I'm like, no, I do not want to be a nurse. So that happened for a couple years. I was like, okay, it's good money. I'm making money, but I wasn't satisfied. So my turning point happened in 2020. So when COVID happened in 2020, my dissatisfaction, almost depression, was at its all-time high. I'm like, I cannot do this. I got to go. I can't do this. I got to go. So during COVID, of course, there were a lot of deaths. People were dying, not just patients now, but nurses, sometimes even co-workers. People were dying of COVID. It was such a depressing period that I was like, okay, is either I just stop working, just stay home, or I just don't do this anymore. So I was like, okay, now COVID is here. What can I do to hone back from my skills when I was 19, when I had that customization company? How do I hone that into COVID and use that to sell something COVID related and help myself get out of the situation that I didn't want to be in? So I heard about Alibaba. I knew about Alibaba because I used to buy stuff for like personal use from there or, in wholesale. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get something COVID related from Alibaba and see if I can, sell it, make a profit, and slowly get out of nursing. So that's what I did. I went to Alibaba course online and I invested $2,000. When I talk about my $2,000 story, people are like, oh, it's not possible. You cannot sell on Amazon or you cannot start Amazon with 2,000. I did it. I wish I had the receipts, but I did it. So I invested $2,000 and then I bought face shields, the plastic face shields. They cover my face, very popular back in 2020. I bought children's versions. I bought adult versions. I bought different colors, animated types, and I knew about Amazon, right? I knew there was Amazon, but I wasn't really a buyer from Amazon much. I was more like going to the stores to buy physically. So I knew eventually I wanted to try to get it on Amazon, but I didn't know how to do it. So while I was like looking for someone to show me how to do it, I did not just stop or just not sell. I sold to coworkers, friends, family, anyone that knew me. I actually took it to my church at a point. Anyone that knew me knew about reorder face shields because I was very persistent. I was like, you have to buy this. You have to support me, almost aggressive about it. So I had my friends buy, had coworkers buy. I'll literally drive into the store, to the closest Walmart, open up my trunk. I'm like, hey, face shields, protect you from COVID, And it was my desperation that drove me. My desperation of not being satisfied in my current career is what drove me to like, I got to get out of this. So out of the $2,000, I made $12,000 in profit. I didn't touch my investment because I was still working as a nurse. So I didn't have to use any of that for anything, any personal thing. So I made $12,000 clean from that. And then I was actively looking for someone to show me how to put it on Amazon. Put my face shields on Amazon and also find a new product. I couldn't find anyone. So I super clumsily, if you ask me how I did it, I have no idea. I watch YouTube videos. That's how you know that a lot of YouTube videos they don't have everything, right? Of course, there's some great videos out there, but they don't give you the whole picture. So I watched the videos and very, very clumsily, I opened my Amazon account. I got my face shields on Amazon and then I was selling as an FBM seller from my garage. I get an order, I fulfill it, and I actually felt good. I'm like, I did this by myself, I felt really good, but I'm like, there is something that's missing. I knew that there was something that I'm not doing right. I'm not sure what it is, but I know I'm definitely doing something wrong. So after like 6 months of struggling with my face shields and struggling with the whole process, I saw a YouTube video and Tom Wang showed up. I'm like, where have you been? Literally, that's the person I said. I was excited because I'm like, okay, finally someone that can show me this. But I'm like, why didn't you show up 6 months ago when I was struggling? Why are you showing up now? So after he showed up, I'm like, okay. So as I watch his intro, I was just very convincing. So I'm like, okay, are you for real? Are you real? Are you, to vet you, make sure you're real. So I watched his intro and then I did some research and I'm like, it was saying great things about him. I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. And then I paid for the program and literally that's how I started. That's like, long story short, that's how I got to where I am today. So 30 days after, so what I used with Tom's class was I used this course kind of like to fill in gaps that I had from my own experience, because I said I did a lot of research. So I use this course to fill up the little gaps I had. So once I had that and would know that I built over 6 months of struggling, that's how it would have like a full comprehensive understanding of Amazon. And it made me an even better mentor right now in order to teach people and to be, where I am right now. So within 30 days of taking Tom's course and launching my first product, not my face shields now, because I went to the home and kitchen category, I made my first 10,000. And that was like, it was like a light bulb effect. I'm like, if I could do this with 10,000 and there's really nothing I cannot do. So after that, I went and launching products. So right now I have 20 products on Amazon. I am doing very, very well. I'm actively mentoring Tom students at the moment. I've been mentoring for going on 5 years. I've had a lot of success stories. You can look me up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have all those platforms and my students are on there giving testimonials of how, Amazon has literally changed your lives. So I want to make this video so you know who you're talking to or who you are listening to when you watch my videos. You know that I'm just a regular person like me, like everyone, right? I'm a regular person that has dreams, desires, that is not satisfied with what they are. So if I could do it with like zero experience, because I don't have any formal, training in business like an MBA or something from Harvard. No, I'm just a regular person like you. So if I could do it with limited resources, I don't see why you can't. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Come over here like every day or every other couple of days or when you get time. I drop nuggets here literally every day. And if you want to learn more about Amazon, you want to sign up for the program, let me know. Click on my bio under, and then I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.